Hello everyone, welcome to Arka Science, and today in this video I will be talking about Mars, Venus, Saturn and their combined energy which is getting activated at this moment of time in the Leo Aquarius axis. On 1st of July 2023, Mars entered the sign of Leo. On 7th of July 2023, Venus entered the sign of Leo. Just opposite to the sign of Leo, we have Aquarius. Now, Saturn is transiting in the sign of Aquarius in the retrograde motion. During this particular time, Venus, although it will be in conjunction with Mars, but it will move very slowly because it is preparing to turn retrograde on 23rd of July 2023. Now, Leo is a fiery sign, and just before Leo we have the sign of Cancer, which is a watery sign. And Venus will be turning retrograde on 23rd of July 2023. So basically it will move backwards again towards that fire water interface. And on 8th of August 2023, Venus will finally leave Leo and it will again re-enter the sign of Cancer. But during this particular time, Mars will be moving pretty fast in the sign of Leo. And since Saturn is the planet of karma and it is transiting in its Mula Trikona sign Aquarius, it is all powerful and it is retrograde, it will create a deep urge to work on certain significations wheresoever this Leo Aquarius axis lies in our horoscope. Since Mars is a fiery planet, Leo is a fiery sign, and Venus is the planet of creativity, this is a wonderful time to work on our creative talents. Suppose we are associated with any work related to art, creativity, or something, working on new kind of projects, starting some new work, or working on some long time projects. It's a wonderful time. It will not only bring that enthusiasm, new kind of energy, but also that beauty, creativity in our work. No matter howsoever the new kind of challenges can be, no matter howsoever the work is difficult or work is taking long amount of time, that positive confidence will be always be there in front of us. Yes, definitely conflicts will be there, challenges will be there, because Mars is a fiery planet, Leo is a fiery sign, and the energy of Mars and energy of Saturn are completely different. Challenges will be there, conflicts will be there, but the most important part here is that Mars is all powerful in Leo, Saturn is all powerful in Aquarius. So that means although challenges will be there, but these two planets will work in harmony. So suppose if you are working on certain things, try to start or try to work on long term things. Or suppose if you are for example, you are thinking to take up a job, then think about long term things. Think about your future, that yes, this is a time when if I work on proper mode, it will give me success in the upcoming years. It is just like a spark of enthusiasm, new kind of energy within us. Now if I talk about Venus, yes, definitely Venus will be afflicted, because Venus rules over water element. Leo is a fiery sign, Mars is a fiery planet aspected by Saturn. So yes, Venus will be afflicted to some extent, but Venus will be retrograde. So after Venus turns retrograde, the affliction will turn a bit less because it will move backwards. But the impact of this conjunction will be there. That means anytime we are thinking to work on our relationships, anytime we are thinking to work on our partnerships, it will be highly beneficial, because here we have to bring forth the compassionate, considerate energy of Venus towards in our life. This is also a time when you can build new relationship, new partnership at the personal level also, at the professional level also. As I said, challenges will be there, but we will be successful in that, because here this Venus will bring that energy, it will create that spark. Now with our hardworking nature, with our that action oriented energy, putting right decisions at right place, we will be able to get success. So it's a wonderful time, I will say. And definitely I will say, see, good things will be there, difficult things will be there, because certain things are there which will bring conflicts, because here at times Mars can be very impulsive, because Leo is a fiery sign, and here just opposite to Saturn, it can make you feel that yes, I can do anything. So you have to be at times very considerate. And who will help you in this regard? Venus. Okay, so it's a very good time. Just we need to put right things in right order, and then you will see that how the good things are coming in front of us. But definitely it will have different kind of impact for every one of us, because that Leo Aquarius interface will be in different houses for every one of us, and definitely it will impact us depending upon our planetary placements, our dasa, the Ashtak scores, and various other parameters. So anytime if you want a consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can also mail me through my email ID. You can find that email ID down in the description section, or you can also connect with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. If you are new to this channel, then I request you to subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. So now I will start this particular video on this planetary energies and how it is impacting all the 12 ascendant signs. Starting with the Aries ascendant. For the Aries ascendant, this particular energy is getting activated your 5th house and 11th house. If I talk about Mars and Venus, they are transiting in your 5th house, and just opposite to it we have Saturn in the 11th house. So the first thing here is that if you are associated with any work related to creativity, art, culture, or suppose you were associated with anything related to sports, athletics, in all of that you are going to get good results and success. Suppose if you are associated with anything related to dance, theatre, drama, music, art and culture, in every those particular discipline you are going to get good results. Secondly, this particular transit of Mars, Venus, and just opposite to it is the 11th Lord Saturn for the Aries ascendant people. This is also a time when you will be also getting good results with regards to your financial development. More you do hard work, more you are going to get financial development in your life. Suppose if you are associated with any work related to speculation or speculative business, in that particular case also it is going to give you very good results. If you are thinking to work on certain kinds of adventurous activities, in that case also it is going to give you good results. Specifically the people who are associated with sports, athletics, this is a time when they can learn new things, and again at the same time they can apply it in a more application mode in their life and ultimately get success. Since it is the 5th house and Mars and Venus, and just opposite to it we have the 11th Lord Saturn, this is also a time you may get connected with your partner. But yes, since it is Saturn looking onto it, this is also a time that if you are in any kind of relationship, or if you are thinking to get into a relationship, then you have to take more commitment and responsibility towards it. Just don't go into a relationship only because you want to go it. Okay, because Saturn doesn't like that. Here Saturn is more like that if you want to focus on one particular thing, take the responsibility. And trust me, you will be able to do it. This particular energy is so much favorable. At your work level also this is going to give you very good results, because Mars is your Lagna Lord. Saturn is also again your 10th Lord. So this is also a time you will be able to focus on your work. So it's a wonderful transit, just make the most out of it. Okay. For the Taurus ascendant people, this particular transit of Mars, Venus is happening in your 4th house, and just opposite to it we have the Saturn. Now here 2-3 things I will say. Since fourth house is the house of happiness and Mars is a fiery planet, first of all, here I will say that this is a time when you need to resolve certain matters related to your domestic and home area. Okay, like suppose anything which might have had been there in the past, you couldn't have taken extra care out of it. This Martian energy will actually bring those things in front of you. And since Mars is all powerful in Leo, here you will be able to resolve the things. But nevertheless, problems may come, like some kind of disputes or any problem in the past which was not resolved earlier. Now, why it is more? Because Venus is your Lagna Lord and Venus happens to be your 6th Lord also. Now, 6th Lord Venus is transiting in the 4th house. So that means definitely this is also a time when you need to take care regarding the health of your mother. There can be some expenditures with regards to some matter related to home or home like any matter related to home or anything related to home, like that can be anything related to conveniences or conveyances, your vehicles, okay, or healthcare. Some expenditures can be there. So take care regarding the people living in and around you, your near and dear ones who are living with you, specifically the health of your mother. Okay, there can be some kind of expenditures related to vehicles. Now, one more good thing here is that suppose if you are associated with any work related to construction, related to land and property, related to vehicles, in that particular case, this particular transit of Mars, Venus and Saturn is aspecting it, you will get good results. Suppose if you are thinking to purchase a new vehicle, in that particular case also this particular transit of Venus over here will allow you to think about it and you may get some good results. You will be able to purchase it. Okay, now Mars will be aspecting your 10th house where Saturn is retrograding. Now this is a time when you need to have a proper decorum maintained at your workplace. You should not get into any kind of unnecessary conflict of interest or disputes with your co-workers or with your authorities during this particular time, because in the 4th house Mars loses its directional strength. So at times you may feel a bit more anxious. So this can lead to more of that impulsive energy of Mars. Okay, so just focus more on your work rather than getting into any kind of unnecessary disturbances. That will give you much more better results. Another thing here is that Mars and Saturn together will aspect your 7th house of relationship, your marriage, your partnership. So during this particular time you need to be very careful regarding the health of your spouse or relationship matters at the highest level. Give more priority towards it, be more considerate towards it, okay, rather than getting into any kind of unnecessary disputes. Okay, so that's it for the Taurus ascendant people. For the Gemini ascendant people, this transit of Mars Venus is happening in your 3rd house, and just opposite to 3rd house we have Saturn in the 9th house. So first of all I will say that normally the transit of Mars and Venus in the 3rd house is considered very good, because it gives you a great amount of energy, enthusiasm in starting new kind of projects, new kind of work. Suppose if you are working on certain things, this energy of Mars will give you a lot of positive vibes. You will be feeling like that, yes, I can start any work. You will feel always energetic. This will not only improve your health, but also it will give you success at your competitive arena, because Mars will look onto your 6th house by its 4th aspect. You will be able to repay your debts. Okay, so I will say that this is a time when you will be able to work on your projects much more better, take up new work. And since Venus is also transiting in your 3rd house, so this is also a time when you will be able to work on your hobbies, your creative talents. So suppose if you are associated with any work related to poetry, reading, writing, singing, dancing, it is a wonderful time. This is also a time when you will be able to learn new things, because this Venus will be aspecting This Mars and Venus, but more specifically Venus, will be aspecting your ninth house, where your ninth lord Saturn is transiting in the retrograde motion. So this is also a time when you will be able to explore new things and learn new things. There is a considerable amount of chance of traveling. There can be some short travels where you can explore new things and you can also learn new things. Okay, so make the most out of it. That's it for the Gemini ascendant people. For the Cancer ascendant people, this particular transit of Mars and Venus is happening in your second house, and just opposite to it in the 8th house we have Saturn. Now here we need to look into multiple things. First thing is that second house is the house of wealth, family, our values. So here Mars at times can make you very dominating with regards to your value system. Okay, this will give you a very strong push to maintain your value system, which is actually good thing, but at the same time you have to maintain that you should not get into any kinds of unnecessary fights or disagreements or arguments with your family members. Okay, for the Cancer ascendant people, Mars is the yoga karaka planet. It's one of the best planet for the Cancer ascendant people, and it is transiting in the second house. So during this particular time it will also allow you to focus more towards money making, allow you to take good decisions regarding your financial investments, and also allow you to improve your savings. Since Mars is your 10th lord transiting in the second house, so this will be a time when more you work hard, more you work on proper things, it will allow you to accumulate your money and finances in a much more better manner. Okay, here Venus will also help you out, because for the Cancer ascendant people, Venus is the 11th lord. So basically your 10th lord and 11th lord is transiting in the second house, so it's a wonderful time for your career, for your job and finances. But here one more thing I will say you, that this particular transit of Mars and Venus, which is getting aspected by Saturn, now Saturn is the 8th lord, so there can be some ups and downs in your decisions. So you have to have a proper control over your impulsion, because this can also lead to some kind of expenditures with regards to the things which you feel like I need to have these things in my home, or I value this thing, I need to purchase it. Okay, so out of that impulsion you may get into some kind of expenditures. So you have to have a check on that and focus more on long term planning for investments and savings. That will give you much more better results. Take care regarding the healthcare of your family members, and try to maintain a proper cordial bonding between you and your family matters and family members. That will give you much more better results. This Mars will also aspect your 5th house. Now Mars also rules your 5th house for the Cancer ascendant people. So during this particular time I will also say that although it will be very good for your children, and for your children also this will be a time when their career will also be good. Okay, but I will also say that try to be more considerate towards your children. That will be much more better for you. That will give you much more better results. Okay, and during this particular time also make sure that what you speak, to whom you are speaking, you need to be like a bit careful regarding that. You should not be very harsh and rude in your speaking during this particular time. Okay, because Mars is a fiery planet transiting in a fiery sign like Leo, so it can at times make you very fierce in your speech and communication. Okay, for the Leo ascendant people, this transit of Mars and Venus is happening in the 1st house, and just opposite to it we have Saturn in the 7th house. Now Mars and Venus in the 1st house, first of all I will say this will give you a very charismatic personality, highly energetic, very enthusiastic personality. This is a time of proper health care, proper self development. So suppose if you are focusing completely on your own health, your own development, career and everything, this is a wonderful time. Mars for the Leo ascendant people is also your 9th lord. So this is also a time when you can learn new things, religious ideas, spiritual knowledge, religious scriptures, ancient knowledge. Okay, this is also a time getting connected with your guru, your preacher, your teacher, and gain some good knowledge. This is also a time if you are thinking to start some higher education related to law or philosophy. In that particular case also, this particular transit of Mars and Venus will give you much more better results, because Saturn will be aspecting it. Okay, so it's a wonderful time. But one particular thing here I will say, that Mars and Venus will be aspected by your 6th and 7th lord Saturn from the 7th house, and Venus is the significator of your 7th house. So this is a time when you need to be very careful regarding your relationships also, because at times there can be some kind of challenges or conflicts, or even conflicts of interest between you and your partner. Now that can be at the professional level also, at the personal level also, but more specifically I will talk about at the personal level. Like suppose if you are in your married life, or suppose if you are in any kind of relationship, in that particular case also there can be some kinds of conflicts or challenges which may come in front of you, and you need to take care regarding that. So have a proper control over your anger and impulsion during this particular time, because out of impulsion you may take some decisions which may not be conducive towards your relationship. So I will say that this is a time, if you want, you can build a very long term bonding with your partner. So even if some kind of conflicts are coming, try to look at it in a more considerate manner, in a more compassionate manner. Okay, because you see Venus is afflicted, so your one wrong step can take things in a wrong manner. Okay, so make the most out of it. But I will say that at the personal level, at the career and everything, this particular transit of Mars and Venus in your first house is really going to give you very good results. There are chances of some long distance travels also, and I will say that this long distance travels can be with related to your work and business also, and ultimately it is going to give you much more better results. Okay, so that's it for the Leo ascendant people. For the Virgo ascendant people, this particular transit of Mars and Venus is happening in your 12th house, and just opposite to it in the 6th house we have Saturn. So here the first and foremost thing here I will say that you need to be very careful regarding your health. In case of any health issues which you are going through from past few months or past few days, in that particular case, this transit of Mars and Venus happening in the 12th house will be very essential, will be very crucial, because during this particular time you need to take care regarding your health more. Suppose if you are going through some kind of medical issue, then this is a time when you need to take proper medical attention. That will give you much more better results. Now for the Virgo ascendant people, Venus rules your 2nd house, and Venus is transiting along with Mars aspected by Saturn in the 12th house. So there can be some health related expenditures. There can be some expenditures with regards to family matters, or regarding health care of anyone related to in your family. Okay, so during this particular time I will say that don't take any decision all of a sudden with regards to financial matters or investments or something like that. Try to avoid it. Any major decisions regarding finances should be avoided during this particular time. One more thing I will say here is that since Mars is the planet of energy, getting aspected by Saturn, and Saturn is retrograde in the 6th house, so during this particular time whatever work you are doing, initially you may feel that you are not getting the enough appreciation for your work. Means you will be doing so much hard work, but you may feel that everything is going in vain. I am doing so many things, but I am not getting the appreciation for it. But regarding this I will say here Venus will help you out. Venus gives very good results in the 12th house. Although Venus will be afflicted, but the energy of Venus will be there. So you will see that you will get support from your partner. Although at times you may feel very like that you are getting too much exhausted by so much hard work, but you will get some kind of support from your partner. And after Venus turns retrograde, it will be far more beneficial for you, because Venus will turn retrograde and ultimately it will move back to your 11th house. And in 11th house, Venus is all powerful, because Venus gives all the good results, because Venus is the planet of desire and 11th house is the fulfillment of desire. Okay, pleasure, love, compassion. So this is the time when initially some conflicts may be there, but later on as the days goes by, ultimately the things will turn upon in favor of you. But during this particular time, you need to be very careful regarding that. Although you may get support from your partner, it is your responsibility also to take care regarding your partner, because Mars by its 8th aspect will be looking onto your 7th house. So there can be some moments which can lead to some kind of unnecessary anxiety or stress between you and your partner. Okay, so you also need to become more compassionate and more considerate towards your partner or towards his or her health. Okay, that will give you much more better results. So that's it for the Virgo ascendant people. For the Libra ascendant people, this transit of Mars and Venus is happening in the 11th house, and just opposite to it we have Saturn in the 5th house. Now here in the 11th house, Mars and Venus normally gives very good results. If I talk about Mars, then first of all, one thing I will say that Mars is the planet of energy and 11th house is the house of gains. So this is a time when you will feel highly energetic, enthusiastic. It will improve your mood, it will improve your vibe in a more positive direction. So whatever work you do, it will give you much more better results. First of all, it will improve your social communication more, because the impact of Venus over there. It will give you a very charismatic personality, it will improve your health, and ultimately it will improve your social communication. Since it is getting aspected by retrograde Saturn, and Saturn is the Yoga Karaka planet for the Libra ascendant people, aspecting from the 5th house, this is a time, a wonderful time if you are working on your creative skill set, if you are learning new things, it is going to give you great deal of success. So suppose if you are having any kind of creativity, any kind of creative talents, and if you are thinking that when to start it or what to do with it, this is the time. Work on it. I know it is like working on creative skill set is like a doing a regular exercise. It is not like that you started the work now and tomorrow you ended it. No, you have to work on it regularly. Trust me, this is a time when it will give you very good results in the upcoming days. This Venus is a Lagna lot for the Libra ascendant people. So that means it is you yourself have to do it, and you yourself will achieve it. This is also a time you will see that you will get success at your work. Whatever work you do, your hard work will pay back. After Venus turns retrograde, that will be a time when you have to look back again on your work, on your karma, that yes, what else I should do, what else is needed in order to make my work far more better. But overall, I will say that this is a wonderful transit. Mars will be looking on to your 2nd house. So this is also a time I will say that although it will help you out to improve your financial status, your investments, your savings, but again at the same time I will say try to avoid any kind of unnecessary expenditures. That will give you much more better results. And yes, since Mars and Venus together will be transiting in the 11th house and Mars is looking onto your 2nd house, so have a proper control over your speech, because at times this Mars can make you very impulsive, and since it is very highly energetic and enthusiastic, so out of that impulsion you may say certain things which you shouldn't have said. Okay, so these things you have to be taken care of. Otherwise I will say it is a wonderful timing, because Saturn in the 5th house will allow you to work on multiple things. Here Saturn is like a problem solver for you. So just don't worry, focus on your work, Whatever work you are doing, just focus on your work. Try to bring out that creative skill set. Trust me, it is going to give you very good results in the upcoming days and months. For the Scorpio ascendant people, this transit of Mars and Venus is happening in the 10th house. Just opposite to it, we have Saturn in the 4th house. Now, Mars is the Lagna Lord transiting in the 10th house. Venus is the 7th Lord transiting in the 10th house. Now, here, this is a time when, with your hard work, with your proper approach towards your job, career, or business, you will be able to get good results. Most important part here is that Venus is your partner. Venus is your 7th Lord. You will be able to get proper cooperation from your partner during this particular time. But since Venus will be afflicted in the sign of Leo, so this is a time when you need to take proper approach to take care regarding your partnership, take care regarding your relationship. Your hard working abilities, your interest towards your work should not hamper the relationship between you and your partner. You will get proper support from your partner, but it is your responsibility that you should take care regarding your partner also, because Venus is the 7th Lord and Venus is a natural benefic planet. So Venus will allow you to bring forth your creativity in your workplace. But during all these things, Venus will be afflicted. So you have to take care, because Mars is Lagna Lord, means here Mars represents you yourself. So you have to take responsibility to maintain proper things at the personal level, at the professional level, with regards to your partnership, with regards to your relationship. That will give you much more better results. During this particular time, I will say that you need to be very careful regarding the health of your mother, because Saturn is retrograde in your 4th house. Mars will be aspecting your 4th house. Venus is your 12th Lord aspecting your 4th house. So during this particular time, some expenditures can be seen with regards to healthcare. So I will say that focus more regarding the healthcare of your family members or the people with whom you are living, and specifically regarding the health of your mother, and try to be more compassionate, be more loving towards your mother. Take care more of her. That will give you much more better results. This is also a time when I can see that certain matters related to your home, which was unresolved, which was not taken care of in the past, may all of a sudden come in front of you, which you need to take care of. That will give you much more better results. Okay. One more thing here is that Saturn and Mars will be aspecting, both they will be aspecting in the first house. Saturn by its 10th aspect, Mars by its 4th aspect. So it's your own health care also. And since Mars will stay in the sign of Leo till 18th of August, and Venus will also be retrograde in the sign of Leo in your 10th house. So I will say that your health care is also essential during this particular time. So take care more of your health. Okay, so that's it for the Scorpio ascendant people. For the Sagittarius ascendant people, this Mars Venus will be transiting in your 9th house in the sign of Leo, and just opposite to it in the 3rd house we have Saturn in its retrograde motion. Now for the Sagittarius ascendant people, Mars is the 5th Lord and 12th Lord transiting in the 9th house. This transit of Mars is a good transit, I will say, because this will give you a fresh energy, make you highly optimistic to chase your dreams, to chase your ambition, to chase your goals. And here Venus will bring that necessary amount of creative energy, that happy mood. So this is a time when if you want to work on your career, job, profession in a new manner, with a new intent, it's a wonderful time. Even if you are a student, if you are working hard to get into some new kind of university or college, or taking up new kind of course, it's a wonderful time. It will give you a very competitive approach to achieve your goals, your idea in a much more easy manner. Yes, see, here easy manner means it will give you success. Since Saturn is aspecting it, Yes, some kind of challenges will be there, but it will be resolved with your hardworking abilities. It will be resolved. So I will say that it's a wonderful time, because Mars is your fifth lord for the Sagittarius ascendant people. So it is a time of constant learning. This is a time when you will be getting opportunity to meet your guru, to visit your guru and learn new things from him or her. Since 9th house will have Mars and getting aspected by Saturn from the 3rd house, so this is a time when you need to be very careful regarding health of your father. This is one thing, and try to be more cordial towards your father. Try to be more considerate, more compassionate. Try to listen to him. That will give you much more better results. And one more thing, Mars and Venus will look onto your 3rd house also, but Saturn is retrograde. So this is also a good time to start new kind of hobbies, or suppose anything which you any talent which you had but you didn't give that much importance to it in the past. This is the time when you will be able to work on it in a much more better manner. And yes, you have to work hard a bit towards your communication skills, because at times you may feel so much enthusiastic that out of that impulsion you may say certain things which you should not say. Okay, so you need to work hard regarding your communication skills, otherwise the other things looks good. Take care regarding the health of your father. That will give you much more better results. For the Capricorn ascendant people, Mars and Venus will be transiting in your 8th house, and just opposite to it in the 2nd house we have Saturn in the retrograde motion. Now Saturn is the ascendant lord itself. So during this particular time, since ascendant lord Saturn is getting aspected by Mars and Venus from the 8th house, so during this particular time the first and foremost thing is your health. Take care regarding your health. Anything which is good for your health, take up those matters. The decision making regarding your day-to-day life should be completely focused for your own well-being. This is a time when you have to take out all the wrong habits. Take up some good habits that will give you much more better results, because Saturn is transiting in your 2nd house in the retrograde motion. Now 2nd house is the house of values. This is the time you have to choose the things which are good for you and which are not good for you. You have to be very choosy during this particular time. That will give you much more better results, because don't forget 8th house is the house of sudden changes, transformative energies, chronic diseases. It is the house of longevity. Okay, so any right decision taken now will not only improve your health but also give a proper importance to your day-to-day life decisions. That will be much more good for your discipline, your punctuality towards your day-to-day life decisions. Okay, so take up those things and focus more on your healthcare now. That will be much more better. Okay, another thing is that during this particular time what I can see is that there can be considerable amount of dissatisfaction towards your work, towards your income, towards your growth and development at your work level, at your business level or job level. So you may feel that you can take up some new job. So this is a time when you will also get some opportunity in order to improve your work, in order to improve your income skill and all. Okay, so suppose you are thinking to find a new job or something like that. This is a time when you can find a new work, find a new job. But again at the same time I will say that since Venus is turning retrograde, this is the time, and Mars is transiting in the 8th house, this is the time that you should be very much careful regarding your joint assets, joint asset and your fixed asset both. Any unnecessary investment plans or investment decisions should not be taken right now. This is also a time when you need to be very careful regarding your relationship, because Venus is the significator of 7th house and it is running retrograde, and on 8th of August it will move on to your 7th house. Okay, so I will say that during this particular time take care regarding your relationship, your partnership, both at the personal level, at the professional level. That will give you much more better results. Take care regarding your health, and if you are searching for a new job, it's a good time. You can search for it, but there can be considerable amount of dissatisfaction at your present work. So this is the time also you should be very careful that you should not get into unnecessary arguments or some kind of conflicts of interest between you and your co-workers or your authorities during this particular time, because that can lead to problems, unnecessary problems, I will say. So this is the time when you need to be very careful regarding your impulsive energy, because 8th house has that sudden energy and Mars is a very fiery planet. So at times it can make you very impulsive, very angry, very anxious. So have a control over that. Yes, Venus will support you, because after Venus turns retrograde, Venus will support you, because in its retrograde motion it will move back into your 7th house, and when it enters your 7th house it will look onto your 1st house. So that time you will get a considerable amount of support from Venus. Now Venus means your partner, but you should also be considerate and compassionate towards your partner, okay, at the same time, because Venus is afflicted at this point of time. So this is a time that it seems as if your partner is trying to support you, but your own impulsion is not allowing you to be considerate towards your partner. So try to be more soft, calm and composed when you are dealing with your partner, when you are dealing with your relationship matters, okay, that will give you much more better results. And I can see one more thing, that all of a sudden some gains can come, because Mars will be aspecting your 2nd house and your 11th house both, and Mars is your 11th lord. So sudden gains may come in front of you, but make sure that you are not investing it in some unnecessary means. Rather, I will say that don't take any unnecessary decisions at this point of time regarding your finances and economy. Okay, try to avoid unnecessary expenditures also. So that will be the most important part. Okay, take care regarding your health. So that's it for the Capricorn ascendant people. For the Aquarius ascendant people, Mars and Venus will be transiting in your 7th house, and just opposite to it, in the 1st house, in the ascendant, we have Saturn, the Lagna lord, the ascendant lord, in the retrograde motion. So during this particular time, I will say first thing is that you need to be very careful regarding your health. You have to be very punctual, very disciplined regarding your day-to-day matters. Okay, because this Martian energy can at times make you very impulsive, at times can make you very anxious and hot-headed. Okay, so if you are working on certain things, make sure that you are planning for it prior to starting that work. Plan for it, okay, and when you feel that yes, this is the moment, this is the timeline, and then you can start the work. This will not only improve your punctuality, this will also improve your self-discipline, because Mars in the sign of Leo is very fiery, and if you are late in doing your work, then it can bring that anxiety within you. It can make you very impulsive, and that impulsion can hamper your work. And since it is transiting in the 7th house, it will also try to create problems or unnecessary problems, I will say. It was not meant, unnecessary problems between you and your partner, because one wrong decision can disturb the other matters. This is the first thing. Second thing is that this particular transit of Mars and Venus in the 7th house can also bring up some kind of travels, because Mars is your 3rd lord, Venus is your 9th lord, transiting in the 7th house of foreign lands. So suppose if you are thinking to move to some faraway place, some foreign lands, or you are planning to move to some foreign lands from many days earlier, but you were not successful, so this is a time when you will be able to look up to it in a more better manner. So you may get success into getting into some foreign place or some faraway lands. Okay, this is also a time, what I can say is that Mars happens to be your 10th lord for the Aquarius people, Venus happens to be your 9th lord. So this Mars Venus conjunction is creating a Raj Yoga in the 7th house. So this is also a time when you may get some favor from your employer. This is also a time when you may get some higher position at your work, or this will be a good time of development in your business or business ideas. You may get some good collaboration at some higher place, or suppose you may collaborate with some person who is far more advanced or progressed in certain kind of business ideas. So some good results regarding your career, regarding your business opportunities can be seen during this particular time. Some travels can be seen, some movement can be seen. Only one thing, You have to be very careful regarding your own self-discipline and punctuality, because that will control that Martian energy. It will allow you to control your anxiousness, control your impulsion and anger, and again at the same time you have to be very careful and very considerate towards your partner. Because what I can see, Venus, since Venus is the ninth lord and Venus also happens to be your fourth lord, so your partner will try to help you in all regards. You will get help from your partner. Now that can be at the professional level, that can be at the personal level also. You will get support because both Mars and Venus will aspect your first house where Saturn, the Lagna lord, is transiting in the retrograde motion. Okay, so you yourself will be impacted. You will see that your partner is helping you out, but at the same time you need to be very compassionate towards your partner also, because you see Venus will be afflicted. Okay, so make sure that you are taking care regarding all these things. That will give you much more better results. And one more thing I will say, that this is also a time period, what I can see is that you may get connected with a person. Suppose if you are thinking to get into a relationship, a new kind of relationship or something like that, in that case also this particular transit of Mars and Venus aspected by Saturn in the 7th house, you may get into a new kind of relationship. Or suppose if you are thinking to strengthen your relationship, this is the time. So taking right actions, right decisions can not only strengthen the bonding between you and your partner, but also it will help you to think about the future in a much more constructive manner. Okay, so make the most out of it, I will say, for the Aquarius ascendant people. For the Pisces ascendant people, Mars and Venus is transiting in the 6th house, and just opposite to it, in the 12th house we have Saturn in the retrograde motion. Now this particular transit has to be taken care of. Normally the transit of Mars in the 6th house is considered very good, because it gives us appropriate amount of energy to face the real life situations and get victorious. It allows us to become more competitive, get victory over our opponents, and ultimately get that success in our work, in our project, in whatever work you are doing, in whatever job you are attached with. Okay, but here this Mars will be getting aspected by that retrograde Saturn. So this is a time when you need to be very careful regarding your impulsive energy. Okay, so do not get into unnecessary fights. This is the first thing I will say. Now with anyone in your daily contact, with anyone at your office, at the office, at your job level, at your service level, like suppose you are working somewhere, so you may not like something, okay, and out of that you get into some impulsive behavior and get into some kind of unnecessary arguments or fights. Try to avoid it. Okay, more essentially because Venus happens to be your 8th lord. Okay, so there can be some suddenness at your work or some suddenness in your impulsive behavior. So I will say this is the thing which you need to control, first thing. Second thing is that you need to be also be very careful regarding your health. In case of any kind of health matter which might had been there in the past, so you have to take care regarding that now, because this proper health care will not only help you out in the upcoming months and days, but also it will give you a proper discipline towards your day-to-day life schedule. Because why I say it, because Saturn is transiting in the 12th house in the retrograde motion, aspected by Mars. So you cannot take it lightly. You have to give proper attention and focus towards your health care during this particular time. Secondly, suppose whatever work you are doing, you have to complete your work without any expectation. Don't expect much, because Saturn is the planet of karma retrograding in the 12th house. Okay, so what will happen, you may feel that you are working so hard because Mars is transiting in the 6th house. So here Mars will give you that energy. You will work so hard, but you may feel that I'm not getting that appreciation for it because of that Saturn retrograding in the 12th house. So you may feel that I'm not getting that appreciation, or I'm not getting that good name for what I'm working for. Okay, and that can lead to some kind of impulse, and that can lead to some kind of anxiety. So I will say during this particular time, more you work hard without any expectation, that will give you much more better results. trust me, it is not going to go into vain. It is going to pay you back, because after Venus turns retrograde, Venus will move on to your 5th house in the month of August, and it will look onto your 11th house. The hard work which you start now, the hard work which you are doing now, it will not go in vain. It will pay you back in the subsequent days and months. So at this moment of time, even if you feel that I am not getting the enough recognition for it, don't worry. You don't need to worry. You are going to get good results out of it. And one more thing, if I personally talk about Mars in the 6th house, in the sign of Leo, for the Pisces ascendant people, then I will say that only this Mars, if taken into consideration, it will give you very good results. Only one thing is that don't hurry into anything, or don't get too much impulsive. Otherwise, this Martian energy will give you so much enthusiasm, so much positive vibes, that you are going to get good results in whatever work you start and whatever work you do in day-to-day life. Suppose if you are studying something, you are learning something, or suppose you are working into some kind of competitive arena or something like that, in that case also this particular Martian transit in the 6th house is going to give you very good results. And here Saturn will benefit you, because this Saturn will give you that discipline. Okay, it will give you that imaginative power, that yes, what should be done, what should not be done. In that way, this particular transit of Mars in the 6th house is going to be very good in your upcoming days and time. One more thing I will say, Mars will be looking onto your 1st house and 9th house. So during this particular time, you need to be very careful regarding how you are dealing with your father, with your guru. Try to be more cordial, more compassionate, more considerate towards your father or your father-like figure, with your guru or with your elders of your family. That will give you much more better results. Okay, so that's it for the Pisces ascendant people, and as I discussed for all the 12 ascendant signs. So if you like this video, press the like button, share to your near and dear ones, so that they can also come to know regarding this planetary energy, this combined impact of Mars, Venus and Saturn with regards to Leo and Aquarius axis. And if you are new to this channel, tap onto the subscribe button, click onto the notification bell icon, so that every time I make a new video you get notified instantly. And if you want a consultation, personalized consultation from me, check the links down in the description section. You can mail me through my email ID, or you can connect with me through my Facebook or Instagram accounts. You will find all the links down in the description section. So till then, when I come back for another interesting video, I'm signing off for today. Thanking you. Bye bye.